All right, guys. I'm gonna do a video here on my thoughts about the Dowell Loggains hire. Um, there's a lot of misinformation out there right now about this coach, mainly focused around his time in the NFL and how unsuccessful he was, and that he was rated the worst play caller in the NFL. I'm going to bring up a couple of articles here I had found on my phone. Somebody had tried to say that uh, Coach Loggins was, you know, rated the worst play caller by ESPN, and that's not actually how this went. I'm gonna bring this up. Give me 1 second here. Crap. Ah, wrong search. Sorry. Play. All right. All right. So sorry. Right here it says Dowell Loggins named the worst play caller in the NFL. All right. This was not actually ESPN that said this. Okay. This was an article written by a journalist from the Bear Report. So basically, a Chicago Bears journalist. Someone who is unhappy with their team and is probably looking for a reason, that their team's not doing well. Let's keep in mind, and this is something I'll get into. Chicago Bears haven't done well since what, the '80s. I mean, they haven't been a team to be successful and get to that level of play that I guess the fans expect, and I understand that. There's a level of play that once you get there, you just keep expecting it, and then you're looking for this is the reason we didn't have it again. Um, you know, so this article, it's pretty, strong, opinion of, saying, negative things about Coach Loggins. Um, you know, that's going to happen. But let's keep in mind this is one article. This is one journalist named him the worst play caller in the NFL. This was not um, what what ESPN said about um, Dowell Loggains. Now, I went ahead and I got screenshots of that one, so I'll just go ahead and bring that up instead of trying to find the article again. And I'll read this article to you. And I had posted this. Um, I had posted this article on, I don't know, my Facebook or something. I had posted it somewhere. Um, Loggins is in his second year as Bears offense coordinator. Yada yada. He isn't nearly as accomplished as predecessor Adam Gase. Uh, Now the head coach of the Dolphins. Oh, Adam Gase is now the head coach of the Dolphins. But Chicago doesn't have many weapons on offense, particularly at wide receiver. Plus, Loggins is attempting to coach up rookie quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Who? I don't mean to say that like I'm being an ass, but I don't know who Mitchell Trubisky is. Most of us probably don't. And that's what you're dealing with. You're at the Chicago Bears and you're trying to coach up a rookie quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, who started just 13 games in college before the Bears selected him. Next picture, the Bears selected him over selecting him second overall in the 2017 draft. So this was the second overall draft. I don't even know who the guy is. None of us probably do. I mean, But the NFL is a performance-based business. The Bears rank 29th in points per game and total offense, and total offense 29th in points per game and total offense. Loggains is on the hot seat, and so is Coach John Fox. Okay, that's what ESPN had to say. ESPN just ranked the stats. ESPN did not say he's the worst play caller in the NFL. They said, here's the stats. The Bears are last. Not a good look, sure. Okay. But not rated the worst play caller in the NFL by ESPN, which is what the narrative is being pushed that, ESPN said he was the worst play caller in the NFL. Now, I say the narrative. Somebody on Twitter responded when I said, well, who called him the worst play caller in the NFL? Probably some local journalist who's a fan of the Chicago Bears. I didn't look it up at the time. Admittedly, I did not go and look up and find out who the journalist was that claimed him to be the worst play caller in the NFL. I kind of just already knew. Okay. But then after a guy come back and said, no, it was ESPN. Well, it wasn't ESPN. It was a local journalist who is probably a fan of the Bears and is not happy that his team is not winning. We see that here in South Carolina all the time already, right? Here's my take from what I'm gathering and learning about Coach Loggains. He's got multiple years of experience in the NFL. So that's huge, right? Just the years of experience. He is a play caller. He has experience as an offensive coordinator. Okay. So he's not coming in just as a tight ends coach from Arkansas. Now, I know we're going to say, well, he has no college play calling experience. He's only spent 2 years coaching tight ends. I'll give you that. But what we do know is that he's also been dubbed as a top 20 recruiter. I don't know how you figure that or whatnot. I've heard this said, and I'm not gonna, man. Look, I can't look up every little stat. I do a lot of my own research, but a lot of people are saying the guy's a really great recruiter. People go, well, we don't need more talent. What? Of course we do. We're sitting on our a top 15 class right now, which is the highest we've ever had. We've never gone above top 15. Okay? The teams who win championships have top 10 classes year after year after year. So, of course, we need better recruiting always. Until we get recruits in that are in that kind of category, and I would take top 15 and above and say, hey, good coaching should be able to take top 15 and above and potentially make it into a championship team. That blue chip ratio is a thing. This is our first ever recruiting class where we're going to have a blue chip ratio, that 50% or whatever they said. You have to have like a 50% blue chip ratio if you want to be a championship team for 4 years. Not one. We need 4 years to develop the depth and the talent to have that blue chip ratio that they're calling for us to become a championship contender. That's what Coach Loggains is bringing. Better recruiting. Recruits, players, make plays. I'm not going to get into a debate about Coach Satterfield's playbook and yada, yada, yada and whatnot. I had my own critiques of Coach Sat, okay? But there was a lot of times also that the players blew up a play that was perfectly good, okay? Players make plays. Players can make a good offensive coordinator look bad, and they can make a bad offensive coordinator look good. It's very important for us as a fan base to be positive and uplifting about our new hire, our players coming in, and try to keep as positive a vibe as possible about some of the players leaving. I gave a video last night critiquing Bell and Marshawn Lloyd, and I half regret it and I half don't because I gave them credit too. They are amazing players. I don't like how they handled things. Maybe some of those warning signs are out there. But back to the topic, Coach Loggains has done nothing for us to say, oh, he's going to suck. He was the worst play caller in the NFL. He wasn't. That's not what anybody said except for one journalist. One journalist said he was the worst play caller in the NFL. He coached on teams that don't have talent. They don't have talent. When you don't have talent on the team, the coaches can only do so much. Okay? And it's so hard to say they don't have talent. It's an NFL team, right? They're all professional players. The best of the college players all go to the NFL, right? But the best of the best NFL players end up on the best teams. The teams that put the money into the teams. And those aren't the teams that he coached for. We could say, oh, well, Jets historically. Yeah, Jets have had some good seasons here recently. Ish, right? Historically, they were like, they won Super Bowl III, Joe Namath. What have they done since then? Historically, the Bears. Well, when? There was one period in the 80s the Bears were good. Same can be said for the Dolphins. Titans have not done anything, right? We haven't seen, that franchise. It's a newer franchise. He's not coached for teams that were considered really good teams. All right. Now, if he would have went to, New England Patriots, right? While Tom Brady was still there. And they were awful while Loggains was there. They were good before he got there. They were awful while he was there. And they were good again right after he left. And pretty much the players were the same. Then I would say, well, yeah, that's something to worry about. But to say, hey, I'm going to worry about this guy's ability to call plays based on the 4 teams that he coached for, I can't do that, and I can't be there with you. I'm going to choose to keep a more positive outlook. Look what just happened, too. We just saw that big tight end hit the transfer portal from Arkansas. Now, I know we lost, Austin Stogner and Jaheim Bell and Marshawn Lloyd. Okay, so, our guys are leaving because of a coach coming in. Maybe. But what are the odds we're probably going to catch some players coming in that are going to want to play for that guy? The Arkansas fan base is pretty adamant. They don't want to lose Coach Loggains. We're hearing a lot of stuff coming from their side, like, hey, man, y'all got a good one. So there's 2 different takes on that, right? You could go and look and say, hey, he's the worst play caller. Okay. But you can also say he coached for some bad teams. Since he's been in college, he has no experience calling plays. Okay. But he does have recruiting experience now. Apparently, he's done really well with that. He's potentially going to bring some players with him. We already know one tight end hit the portal. We have seen players following coaches, and I'm not saying we're going to get that tight end. What was that? Tyrone Nick? What was it? No, not. I have to look it back up. But I know he was a significant tight end over at. I'm going to look it up now because so many names float around. It's so hard to keep track of every name. Arkansas tight end transfer. Trey Knox. I'm sorry, I said Nick. Knox, my bad. Trey Knox. So I was off on my my vowel there. So Trey Knox hit the tight end portal. The transfer portal. So What are the odds he might probably end up in South Carolina? I mean, he might. He might not. I mean, he could end up anywhere. But there's a good possibility he ends up over here because players are kind of following coaches around these days. Coach is leaving, player hits the portal, they end up on the team where the coach was. So, that's my take on it. And what I would like to see from the rest of our fan base, my plea to the fan base is that be positive. Stop the negative chatter. Stop doom and gloom over everything. So this isn't maybe the hire you thought it was going to be. A lot of people didn't think Coach Beamer was the hire. You know, I was very positive about Beamer once I started hearing him talk and his positive vibes. Before that, I was like, okay, well, he's the son of a coach, da da da. He was here before, da da da. But then when you saw the energy he was bringing and the vibes and the culture that he wants to bring to our school and the winning mentality, the talk of we have everything here that we need to have a championship program. I firmly believe in what we can do in South Carolina, that we can have championships here. He believes that. He lives that. And he's shifting the mentality, and you're going to have to shift with him. And that's very important.